I'm sure if you hike or wild camp, one of the biggest issues you have is the weight and the pack size of the stuff that you carry. So one significant weight that you'll carry is water. Any kind of fluids weigh an awful lot and they take up a lot of space. So the idea behind a water filter is if you're in an area where you know the water is fairly clean, you're in a national park or you're in a bit of countryside where you know there's quite a lot of natural springs or little streams, you can take a water filter, check on the OS map where those kind of water elements are, and make sure that throughout the walk you can fill up your water as you go and drink as you go. So the reason I bought a water filter is I was out one day, I'd driven to mid Wales to the Elan Valley, and it was probably about 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive, and when I opened the boot, my backpack was there and it felt a little bit damp, but I couldn't see any water leak and I couldn't see any issues, so I just didn't think of anything when I started hiking. It's about an 18-mile hike. I was ticking off 2 mountains. It's a really hot, sunny day. And about 7 miles in, I realised that I had obviously a water bladder in my bag and it had been squeezing the trigger where you drink from in the boot of the car. And actually most of the water had leaked out. So I found out after about 7 miles, I had no water left. I think I had a can of soft drink and a can of energy drink, and that was it. So I spent the day trudging around, finished 18 miles, but I did not feel well at the end of it. And I was passing loads and loads of water sources, and I thought, these look really crystal clear and stuff, but I didn't trust to drink them. But what I thought is, I really got to get myself a water filter, because that day would have been perfectly nice and safe if I could have just popped this into the water and had a drink from it. So that was my kind of personal experience as to why I got one. So let me know in the comments if you've ever been out and run out of drink and you haven't had a water filter. And what did you do? Did you turn back? Did you carry on? Could you turn back where you're already halfway through the walk and it was as far back to the car as it was to continue? The water filter we're going to look at is the Platypus QuickDraw. So generally when you buy this, you'll buy it with a bag to fill up and then the filter itself. Obviously there are loads of different ones you can buy, so I won't talk about those. I'm just going to talk purely about this one here and why I bought this one. Now obviously size and weight are a big issue. So this just weighs 95 grams and it rolls up around itself, so it doesn't take up any space in your bag. So it's absolutely perfect to chuck in your bag in case of emergencies. So once you've filled up your water bag, this is a 1 litre one, you can do 2 things. The first thing you do is you can remove the 2 caps, the cap from the cap from the bottom end of the filter. Then just attach the filter to the bag. And then when you've attached the filter, you'll notice it's got a little flip cap and you can drink then straight from the bottle. So obviously if you're thirsty, have a drink straight from the bottle. Then all you need to do is, if you've got a flask or whatever kind of drinking container, just tip and then squeeze. And you'll see it has got a really good flow rate, so it's quite easy to fill up a few bottles. So if you were going to camp for a night and you weren't too far away from your camp spot, but you passed the last bit of water, obviously fill up with water, have a drink, squeeze out into all your containers, and then head to your campsite. So the filter actually works by using a hollow fibre microfilter, which does mean it filters faster than perhaps traditional filters. It should do around 3 litres per minute according to the sales pitch, but obviously you need a 3 litre bottle to do that, so you can buy bigger bottles for it that it'll attach to. And it would attach to traditional drinking bottles as well. So if we had a bottle that fitted it, you wouldn't need to spend extra on the pouch that I purchased. So I think water filters are just a hugely important bit of kit, especially heading out in hot weather over summer and you can do long distances. As long as you know there's water bits marked on the OS maps, take one of these. It's a really good emergency item to have. Now, there are 2 drawbacks with this particular model. The first one being it's a hollow fibre design of the microfilter, so it can get damaged if it freezes. So you need to make sure if you're taking it out in really cold weather that you keep it warm, so perhaps have it in your pocket where it's getting some body heat, then overnight have it in your sleeping bag with you. Most sleeping bags come with a little pocket somewhere near the top end for you to put your phone in or something like that. Pop it into there so it doesn't freeze over. Now the second disadvantage with this particular filter, it's only got a kind of filter life of about 1,000 litres. That might sound like a lot, but if you look at other ones on the market, they might have 100,000 plus, some even 200,000 litres. So that is probably a big drawback of this one here. But then, from what I read when I was researching these water filters, a lot of times the filters get really clogged up far before that lifespan's ever met anyway, and they need to be replaced. With this particular filter, you don't need any specialist tools to clean it, which is another reason why I brought it. You just filter through some clean water, and then you can backwash the filter with the clean water that you've filtered out to make sure it cleans it back out. So if you find the flow rate slowing down a lot, you can try that. And then they also recommend just giving it a shake as well, and that can also help. In terms of how safe they are, here in the UK, these are perfectly safe. So they remove over 99.9% of all bacteria, and exactly the same for protozoa. However, if you're going to travel abroad to certain countries, do check on those countries, because some of those countries will have waterborne viruses. This kind of filter is no good against those. The other thing to mention about it is price. This is currently about £50 online for the filter and the 1 litre plastic bottle. Now the 1 litre plastic bottle is supposed to be pretty robust, doesn't add any flavour to the water, and I've owned it for a couple of years now and it's all working absolutely fine. So I chose this combination based on loads and loads of research. It was really lightweight, it got really good reviews. People found it really easy to get a good flow rate from it as well. So a lot of the ones I was reading about, there was really mixed reviews around flow rate and usability. I've owned this for 2 years now. I've taken with me on many, many miles of hiking. I try to use it sparingly just because of the filter life on it. I try to use it when I really need it. So I won't just take it out and just drink from it all the time. I'll take it out as an emergency backup, and I'll use it when I'm on a longer hike or an overnight camp when I need to do lots of cooking and stuff and I've done a long hike there. If you do use the filter past 1,000 litres and needs replacing, the filter by itself is about 40 quid. So they are not cheap bits of kit. I'm pretty sure when I bought it 2 years ago, it was a lot less than that. I think I paid around £30 for the combination, but obviously prices these days of all the inflation, outdoor kit as well, it's just a lot more expensive, sadly. So I think that's pretty much all you can say about a water filter. For me, it's just a really vital bit of kit. Everybody who's a serious hiker, when you're going long distances or you're out by yourself or you're out of a group who perhaps aren't as experienced as you are, it's well worth taking a bit of kit like this, because you'll never know when you might get a bit lost, or you might drink a lot more than you thought you were going to drink. It might be a lot hotter than you thought it was going to be. And here in the UK, all year round, especially up in the mountains or big hills, there are always plenty of water sources. And whilst they may look very clean and clear when you're walking around, this is just an extra bit of security when you're drinking from that water. You're going to be able to drink safely and without any need to boil it or anything. Now, if you've got a water filter that's different from this that you really recommend, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you found it, how long you've had it, that kind of stuff. So I've had this for 2 years now without any problems, and I hope to use it for another couple of years before it starts to wear out, because again, I try and use it as sparingly as I can. But that is it for the video, because I've got nothing more to say. But big thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.